So Beanstalk is this fun little tool that is a fast work queue. It's got a generic interface so you can use it between platforms, and its original design was to reduce the latency of web page views by doing slow things outside of the web request cycle. And one of the reasons it's really fast is because it's based on the Memcache protocol. So that's pretty cool. To install it, your package manager has it. Brew install Beanstalk, yum install Beanstalk, apt-get install Beanstalk, you've got it. And then to run it, you type Beanstalkd and it runs. Get it? It's easy. Using it is pretty easy. This is the kind of standard Ruby gem for using it. And so you create a Beanstalk pool and you put things in it, and then later you reserve them and do them and then delete them from the queue, and that's it. It's pretty easy. So I've got a contrived example app. DHH says maybe local is like spotting oil on the moon. Yes, it has value, but it's just too costly to extract with available human technology. Well, great. I thought I'd make a really cool location-based services app. It's called Near Me. And it's going to give me a list of recommendations of everything that's near me that might be cool. So that's my contrived example app. So we've got some difficult problems to solve. We've got some big data, double-digit record counts. We've got some heavy-duty math to do. I mean, this is geolocation, right? And we're going to send some notifications out someday. So, that's also something you don't want to do in real time. So I wrote this class here that is a generic interface for Beanstalk that lets me say I want to do something and it'll do it later. It uses send and some other stuff. Like this little chunk down here, heavy find, that's terrible too. Don't use this.
Should we turn the lights off for a moment? Can anybody read that?
Sweet.
Well, you don't need to read it, but yeah, you can turn them off. This is all on GitHub if you want to look at it, but it's terrible. So yeah, I wrote it because I didn't want to write this stuff twice. And then I've got a worker, right? So this is my worker. It's a rake task. It loads the environment, and it runs that. So I'm passing it a JSON blob, and this could be on a totally separate environment in a totally separate language, and it would work. So I've got a demo for you, and we're gonna not do it in that order. But there's the GitHub URL for this code. And let's see. Yes, WebRick is running. So just to show you why we need Beanstalk, I'm going to go ahead and create a point of interest in our app here, and it's going to geocode that, and it's going to reach out to the internet and do a bunch of stuff. So that's going to be kind of slow. Partially because of the sleeps that are in there. That's not refresh. So that actually didn't work. But you saw it was kind of slow. So I'm going to go ahead and start Beanstalk and restart my web server. And worker. Oh. Well, apparently I broke this. That should be working. By the way, this is Ruby 193 with the performance tuning, so it's really fast, which is good because
Those fail really fast.
yeah. I mean, this is pretty crazy, right?
Is that loading the Rails environment that fast?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That is.
That is.
Yeah, it's a constant.
That's fantastic.
But I think it was inside
Oh,
your class.
that's right.
It's not a class.
Yep.
It was a constant inside the class that you defined in that really long thing.
Okay.
This will work. It's not really how I should have done that, but it'll work. I changed a bunch of this stuff today. So there we go. Clear. Because, it loads the environment really fast anyway. So now, we've got Beanstalk. And we've got Beanstalkd running with some stuff, because I don't want you people messing with me. And oops. So we've got some crap in here. Got the mellow mushroom. And that geocoded and that worked fine. So let's take a look at our users. Okay. And we're gonna go over here and some really lame version of Hacker News is gonna hit us. And there we go. We created some users. And it's gonna go geocode all their home addresses. And we can see it's doing that nice in the background. And, we're reaching out to the internet. And the other thing it's doing is it's creating recommendations. So if something's within 5 miles of you, then it creates a recommendation. So, lots of heavy lifting with all this data. And there we go. So this guy here, he's got some recommendations of places near him. So that's kind of the stuff you can do with Beanstalk. And geocoding and contrived software examples. And just so that you can see that I actually did geocode some stuff, this is the Broad Ripple Brew Pub, and it's near the Brew Pub in Developer Town. And this is someone that lives near the Brockway, and they got the Brockway and the mire and stuff. And I'll show you the seeds too. So, no geocoding in there, and you can look at the code. And that's it. So, if you want to look at the code and play with Beanstalk some, there is the URL.
Why would I use Beanstalk instead of Starling, SQS, whatever your...
Mostly it's really easy to get going. Is you can push any kind of text onto it, and if you add some more commands, more crap onto when you run it, you can push pretty large objects through it, which you shouldn't, because they have to go through the wire and stuff, and they might get lost. But it handles retries and stuff. So if I had left this worker running and killed it mid-job, and then started it back up, it would say, oh, I never finished that job. I'll go ahead and do it again.
You start the work up again, it's just going to pick up off the queue, right?
Yeah.
Did you stop the game?
I stopped it, but I didn't have to. So So I can do some more seeding.
So is it basically just like a C server with some sockets in the background?
Yeah.
It doesn't use any kind of like persistence engine, like
Um,
SQ and Redis, anything like that?
No, it's all standalone. It's got a bin log, a write ahead log, which I have turned on here, so you can have it write to a file. So we can keep it from losing its crap. And the way it works is if it gets like a sig term, like you're rebooting the machine or whatever, since it's a write ahead log, it'll go ahead and flush it to the disk before it dies. So you shouldn't lose anything with it. Kind of like Redis, except, you know, if you're using like rescue and you kill Redis and you kill it hard, it writes on the back end. It writes later, so you can lose data that way. So it's a little bit more robust than like rescue and a Redis-based store. And really, this is so fast that if I had taken the sleeps out, you would have never known that anything happened.
Are you guys using this in frame?
No.
Are you using delayed job in frame?
We're using delayed job.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir. Cool.